Michael. He's Abdul. Here we're back at our weekly update for BionicWP. I would say it's not really weekly anymore, so I'm going to kind of say semi-monthly update. And we'll start with that and see if we can at least maintain that schedule. Lots been going on. It's not like we haven't been working on it. We definitely have been very dedicated to the system and process that we're building. And we're going to kind of update you today on what that is. Today is Saturday, July 18th.
18th.
And
18th there, 19th here.
Yeah, 19th
so
there.
I'm in the future.
So I think we'll just quickly kind of talk at a high level of things that have been done. Topics that we've kind of hit on at a high level is new site design. We'll talk a little bit about that process. Our new, what we believe is our new platform we're going to launch these sites on, and our staging through our process of developing a feature release, and then just the overall features in general. So those are kind of things we're going to cover and talk about what we've kind of done the last 3 or 4 weeks of inside the Bionic. So first, let's talk about the new site, the new platform design, right? And the process that we went through there. We identified somebody through a little bit of research through a number of different platforms, and picked this guy and then hired him on Upwork. And kind of went through, I would say, not a normal design process, as it was very quick. But why don't you kind of hit a little bit on kind of what we did there?
No, I think one thing that was always there, that we wanted to, kind of have a professional design done, because like most of the people on the team that we have are developers, and we ourselves are more on the development technical side of things. We do have one designer with us who does our videos and everything. We are looking for another designer as well, but we didn't want to wait for that designer to come on board and start working. We just wanted to go out and have this UI ready. So I think we definitely did not follow a normal design process for that. There are so many good ways to find people. We looked at so many places. We decided on one guy. We hired him. We had a very tight deadline for him, that okay, this is how we need it. So we needed to skip like the usual process of wireframing stuff and things like that. And I think for us it worked as well, because we also don't think of it like that process as well, like in our minds also, like because we're not kind of those designers or people who have worked with designers that much. So for us that process also worked. Because I think one thing that I did tell the guy, and I think it's true, is that both of like you and me, we don't, like when it comes to design, we cannot imagine stuff until we kind of see it on screen. So for us, like to even do those wireframes and kind of imagine things was very difficult, right? So for us, I think we started getting more into it and having more solid ideas once we saw the first iteration, right? That's when we knew, okay, what we want, what we don't want, kind of a thing, right? So I think we did do a pretty good job at this. The guy did a pretty good job at that. And so far, the feedback that we are getting is very good as well. We've posted in some groups. We asked a few people, so feedback is really good as well. And I think now it's just about kind of bringing that to life in the platform, this design. But I think it was something that we wanted to do for, like, we were thinking about this. We didn't know when we'll do it, but I think we just kind of pushed through it and just did it now.
Yeah, no, I think to talk a little bit about the process, we had hired somebody to come in and be a designer, and not everybody stays, right? And I think that's something to talk about, that I think within 3 or 4 days, he decided he didn't want to be a part of the team and went back to school, I guess, is kind of what he mentioned, that his schoolwork was too much, and couldn't be the designer for us. So I would say I pushed it, because knowing the timeline of what it had to be done, that I didn't want to wait for the process to go through it. Obviously, in Karachi, there's different hiring process than it is in the States. People in the States usually give 2 weeks notice. People in Karachi usually give 30 days notice at a minimum. So we didn't want to wait the 30 days to then hire somebody then to get the platform designed, as our MHP is going to be launched on August 18th. So we have defined that and set that in stone, and anything less than that won't be acceptable, as we both agree. So we should send this to our developers so they all hear that and see that. So that is, the new design has been implemented. They're starting to implement it. They put it to HTML now, and then we'll eventually program it into the platform as well. So that's kind of an update on the site design. We are actually also designing a new site. I should say the platform design. We're designing a new site for BionicWP that is in its early stages. That is actually going through more of a iteration process than the other one, where the wireframes is going through a wireframe and doing other things like that to get through that process. So
kind of following the
the
same
other big
design
news.
pattern that we did for the platform, right? Right. We I think because for us the platform is because one thing I very strongly feel about is when you look at a lot of SaaS companies, look at them, they have really good websites. As soon as you sign up, you go into a
Yes.
platform which doesn't look that nice or it looks old, right? So
Right.
that's why for them, I think it's they give more importance to the website than their platform design. For us, it was the other way around. We wanted to design the platform first, so we could design it
Yes.
as we wanted it, looking at its best, and then use that same design philosophy, kind of design the website. So whenever someone comes to a website, then goes into the platform, they'll not feel like a difference of okay, I've gone from here to there. They'll just feel that it flows naturally. And like designing a
Yeah.
website first and a platform after that would have been difficult to follow that kind of an idea, like philosophy, rather than designing a platform and then a website. So we did it like that.
Yeah. So next, the exciting thing.
Yep, one of the
Our
very
move.
I think that's like a design, yes, but I think this is a big decision that we
Yeah,
made.
I mean, it's kind of different. It's like the creative side and the design
Yeah.
looks really nice. It's really come together. But I think what we've identified and what we saw and what happened,
Yeah.
right? The universe was kind of talking to us, and we decided to move off of the platform we were going to move forward with, which is Vulture. Not Vulture doesn't even necessarily know this yet, but this last weekend, we were actually already testing Google's
Like Google C2 instances.
GCP, yes, and the
C2.
C2 instances of that, right? I have a hard time putting all those letters
We
together.
tested all, actually. We
and
tested
numbers.
all instances. We tested N1, N2, E1, and C2. But then we kind of decided, okay, C2 are the best ones. They're the compute optimized ones. They're the more expensive ones, so they are better as well. But I think,
But the speeds are better on
Yeah,
them as well.
yeah.
So that's what we're all about is doing that. So I think we had a situation happen this weekend where we didn't get the response and couldn't move things the way that we wanted to when a node went down on one of our sites that
Yeah.
had about probably 10, 15 sites on it.
yeah,
It was down for
around
uh,
about 9 or 10 hours, 10 hours approximately.
oh, wow. Okay. So that's a long time, obviously, right? So we need to, we can't have that happen again. And it's not something we are saying is acceptable. So we're moving to a different platform, which Google allows you to do a lot more of stuff. And you can kind of talk about that a little bit, right? Of how we're able to move IPs and move data by itself, right? I mean, without having it be so contained, I would say. So.
Okay, so I think like for us, I think because we are using LXD as a new provider, as a new stack, so we are doing LXD containers. So we were trying out because Vulture is the current provider that we use for our current hosting. So we want to let's try them out. We were already set on them, though they don't have people always when I used to tell them we're on Vulture, they'll ask why. Was the first question if they knew about this industry, because they were okay, there are so many other providers, but for us till now, the performance was good, the support was good. We didn't have a lot of issues that other people used to have with Vulture, so we were happy with that, and we were happy enough at that time to kind of move forward with that. But then we started hitting some roadblocks with the kind of technology that we wanted to deploy. Right, we wanted to deploy LXDs in a very cloud-based infrastructure where you could move around, we could move things, you can upscale, downscale, do vertical, horizontal scaling. So with Vulture, the kind of the environment that we wanted to move into was quite restricted. We did find out a few solutions for things here and there, but then I think as we just kept going forward, me and a lead DevOps engineer started to feel we are hitting too many bottlenecks here, right? And then to give our customers the right service that we want to give them, the right kind of infrastructure that we want to give them, we just can't do it here. So I think that's when we had a discussion internally through the team, and we said, okay, let's start exploring GCP. So we started doing that. We did some good tests. We got some really good results. We kind of didn't get into those problems. And then suddenly, like you said, and then one day, we got hit with the same thing that people used to say, right? That this happens at Vulture, which it didn't happen for us for the last 8 months, but it just happened. But there's one thing I do want to say, that I've always noticed with Vulture, I don't know if you'd agree with that, that problems always happen at like odd times, right? Like they always happen when you're like at home, like when the day is off, when you're sleeping, or like at very odd times. So you always have this like, okay, can I sleep kind of a thing, right? Like, okay, will
Yeah.
something happen on a weekend? Will something happen at like late
Yep.
in night? This also happened late at night. We had already closed up for the day. We were like, okay, we were just there, and I just got these notifications. And because of now this closed infrastructure where you can't, your disks and things like that can't be moved, the IP can't be moved if it's not
Yep.
pre-reserved. So we got into the situation where we couldn't do a lot, and the support that we were getting, we weren't getting a lot of information. Like 9 hours, 10 hours is not acceptable in this time, right, in this age, kind of things going down.
No.
So I think that's what kind of where we took it as. I think we both took look at messages are quite late, like okay, the universe is telling you a message, so we just took it like that. And okay, we're just thinking about it, and this happens out of the blue. So I think this is the right move that
Yeah.
we're doing. And I think not just for this, I think the service level, the service stability, the reliability that we'll be able to offer, being on Google's
Yep.
infrastructure would be much better.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's a great idea or a great point. And next, I think is one thing that we did finally institute in our development platform is going from a development to a pre-production and then a production
Yep.
solution, right? So now we have really three different versions of the site, right? Now the pre-production and can sometimes be the same as once you launch code, they're kind of the same until development pushes up. But that's something that we wanted to implement so that we can obviously test and have a more stable environment on the live or the production server. So anything you want to add on that there?
No, I think when we started because we wanted to kind of build things very quickly, so everything was just on the dev. We just had one environment, everyone is pushing there. That's where we are testing the system as well. But as we had grown more stable, as the features had grown more big, we knew that we always knew that we'll have to do a pre-production environment because we don't have a kind of a production environment right now that we need, right? But that's how
Yep.
we knew, okay, always that it would be development, then it would be pre-production, then it would be production. But I think we just started feeling the need for it now, like a couple of weeks ago when we kind of doing demos. Like we are doing it, we are testing the tool. Some developer is working on it. He pushes the code at that time, which breaks something somewhere, right? So the
Yep.
developers are like, this was just working 20 minutes ago, right? And then when you're demoing it, it's not working. So we thought, okay, we need to fix that problem. We need to like kind of bring the pre-production environment setup up on the timeline and do it now rather than like maybe end of the month. So we just did that. Kind of, it's good that we did that. We entered into a few problems, identified quite a few issues there as well that we had to fix kind of to get that working. So I think that just made our code base a lot better as well. And now like going to pre-production for us now with all the work that we've done from pre-production to going to production now, getting that environment ready is pretty straightforward from here for us now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's good. So that's kind of what we've done. Now, considering we won't do videos this next week because I will be on vacation. And the week after that, I'll actually be on a retreat for the other agency that I run for some business stuff. So let's talk forward a little bit of what we're going to do and what we're thinking of. And I know come the first week of August, we will be launching new sites from this platform for internal use only.
Yep.
And then come, like we mentioned, August 18th, we will open it up for a MHP version that people can go and use.
Yeah.
Want to talk about that a little
No,
bit?
I think that's a good point. So the thing is that right now we are in the alpha phase right now that we are going through. We're kind of developing it everything internally. The idea is, by end of this month or early, like the first week of August, start moving some of our internal sites to the platform. So I can move some of them, you can move some of them, kind of move them, see how the whole flow goes.
Use the two personas that we've talked about, right?
How easy it is. Do we encounter any problems, and then how do the sites perform? We do some load testing on real life environments. So kind of getting that feel of, okay, real sites running on that platform, because that just pushes everything forward, right? When you have real stuff running on the platform. And the idea is that when we get to that stage, we run these for around 2 weeks. That's in between the time we run them for around 2 weeks. fix any issues that come up, kind of make sure everything is clean and tight. And then on 18th of so Tuesday, 18th of August, we start bringing in, some of our internal existing customers that have shown interest to kind of test this tool, and maybe also get some more people out from the community also to come on board and start testing
Yep.
it. The idea then is to, kind of test it for another month, right? So let this MHP phase with a few people, like 10, 15, 20 people run it for 1 month, and around between 22 or 29th of September, launch a public beta. So then it's open for everyone. People can come in, they can register, they can start using the platform, right? So that's the idea. So kind of we can say that by end of September, the product would be in public beta. But we will allow, like, if someone is watching this video and they want to start testing it, so they can reach out, and we'll be happy to have them
I was
on
just going to
board
say that.
on around 18th, like around that time, 18th of August time. But then from 20,
And we'll give them some free credits as well to use the platform to give feedback. So, maybe like a $50 to $100 of free credits that they can jump in and, have a site for, one site for a number of months, or a couple sites free for 1 month. So let us know if you're interested in that. We're definitely open to hearing that. You can email us at support@bionicwp.com or support@thewphelp.com. As right now, we're living in two companies.
Yeah.
So I think that is a really good recap of where we've been and where we're going. I think if you have any questions or comments, let us know. If you want to be part of the beta, the MHP, I should say, let us know. Reach out. We're here. Other than that, have a great time ahead. Michael, he's Abdul. Have a great day.